Have you ever made yourself available to everyone and still felt invisible? You answer immediately. You offer help before anyone asks. You give away your best ideas to prove that you have more. At first, people are grateful. Then gratitude becomes expectation. Your quick reply is no longer generous, it is normal. Your extra work is no longer a gift, it is the minimum. The moment you ask for more time, money, or respect, people behave as if you have changed the rules. You believed constant presence would make you valuable. Instead, it taught people that access to you had no cost. Why do people often appreciate what becomes less available only after they have learned to take it for granted? I'm Sarah, and this is WiseMind Stories. In the 48 Laws of Power, 4 laws explore scarcity and perceived value. Law 16 says absence can increase respect. Law 17 uses unpredictability to prevent people from feeling too certain of us. Law 36 advises us to stop chasing what remains out of reach. And Law 40 warns against the seductive idea of the free lunch. These principles are often used to justify artificial scarcity, emotional withdrawal, and manipulative games. But healthy scarcity is not about making people anxious. It is about refusing to make your time, attention, and work infinitely available. By the end of this episode, you will understand why over-availability reduces perceived value, why free can create expensive consequences, and how to become more selective without becoming arrogant or distant. Let's begin with Mina. Mina Cho was a presentation designer who could turn a confusing business idea into a story people understood. For 7 years, she worked inside a consulting firm. When she left to build her own studio, she had skill, but almost no public reputation. So Mina decided to be generous. She posted design advice every day. She offered free 30-minute consultations. When prospective clients sent a messy slide deck, she often redesigned 2 or 3 pages before the first meeting. "I want them to see what I can do," she told herself. The strategy created attention. It did not create a healthy business. Prospective clients scheduled free calls, asked detailed questions, and disappeared. Some returned months later, with presentations that looked strangely similar to Mina's suggestions. Paying clients also learned from her behavior. 1 revision became 3. 3 became just 1 more. Messages arrived on weekends because Mina always answered on weekends. A client who paid for a 10-slide presentation asked her to review an entire investor narrative as a quick favor. Mina kept saying yes because every project felt replaceable. If she was not easy, fast, and generous, someone else would be. Her calendar became full. Her bank account did not. Then a technology company called Aster Labs invited Mina to discuss a major investor presentation. The project could become the largest contract she had ever won. Mina spent an entire weekend preparing for the free consultation. She analyzed the company's message, reorganized its argument, designed sample slides, and created a list of questions investors were likely to ask. The meeting lasted 90 minutes. The founder was impressed. "This is incredibly helpful," he said. "Send us the materials and we'll discuss next steps internally." Mina sent everything. 2 weeks passed. She followed up 3 times. Finally, the founder replied that the company had decided to use an internal designer. 4 months later, Mina saw Aster's presentation online. The visual design was different. The structure was hers. The opening argument, the order of evidence, and even the investor questions came directly from the free session. Mina felt used. She wrote an angry email, deleted it, then wrote a polite email offering to improve the final deck at a reduced price. They did not respond. That silence consumed her for weeks. She checked the founder's posts. She imagined what she should have said. She told friends that Astor had stolen her work, then wondered whether she had any right to complain after giving the ideas away. One evening, Mina attended a small event for independent creatives. The speaker, an architect named Elise, described how she structured early client conversations. Elise did not create unpaid concepts. She offered a short fit call, then a paid diagnostic. The diagnostic produced useful work whether or not the client hired her for the larger project. During questions, Mina asked, "Aren't you afraid clients will choose someone who gives them more upfront?" Elise smiled. "Some will," she said. "Usually the ones who wanted the work more than they wanted the relationship." Afterward, Mina told Elise what had happened with Astor. Elise asked, "When did they begin paying for your thinking?" "They didn't." "Then you taught them that the thinking was part of the audition." That sentence hurt because it was true. Mina had believed price began when she opened the design software. But the most valuable part of her work happened before design. She found the argument, removed confusion, and decided what the audience needed to understand. By giving that part away, she had charged for execution while donating judgment. Law 40 Despise the free lunch is not simply a warning to avoid cheap products. It asks us to notice hidden payment. Every free exchange is funded by something: time, attention, data, obligation, future access, or unequal risk. A free platform may be paid for with your behavior. A free favor may create an expectation. A free opportunity may require you to surrender control over how your work is used. And when you give your own work away, you are paying the cost even if the recipient pays nothing. Free is not always bad. Gifts create relationships. Public education builds trust. Helping someone without expecting a return can be one of the best uses of power. The question is whether the exchange is chosen and bounded. A gift has an edge. Exploitation keeps expanding after the gift should have ended. Mina redesigned her business. She replaced the free consultation with a 20-minute fit call. The call answered only 3 questions. Is there a real problem? Is Mina the right person? Is the client prepared to invest? If the answer was yes, the next step was a paid message diagnostic. Mina would analyze the audience, structure the argument, and deliver a written narrative plan. Clients could use it with or without hiring her for design. For the first 2 weeks, bookings fell. Mina panicked. She was tempted to announce a discount, reopen free calls, and post twice as often. Instead, she studied Law 16. Use absence to increase respect. Absence works only after presence has created value. Disappearing before anyone cares does not create mystery. It creates silence. But constant visibility can turn good work into background noise. Mina had been posting daily because she feared being forgotten. The result was that none of her ideas had room to remain in people's minds. She changed her rhythm. Every 2 weeks, she published one substantial breakdown of a real communication problem. Between those pieces, she stopped filling the space with rushed advice. Her audience grew more slowly. Engagement became deeper. People began forwarding the articles, saving them, and arriving at calls already understanding Mina's approach. Presence says, "I am here." Absence gives other people time to discover whether they noticed. This principle appears in relationships too. If you initiate every conversation, repair every silence, and make every plan, the other person never has to reveal desire. Your constant movement can hide the fact that the connection does not move without you. Space is not punishment. Used honestly, it is information. It allows other people's effort, or lack of effort, to become visible. Law 17 adds unpredictability. Again, the unhealthy version is emotional instability. Affection one day, withdrawal the next, keeping people anxious so they remain focused on you. That is not power. It is insecurity creating dependence. Healthy unpredictability means refusing to become mechanically available. It means people cannot assume that you will always say yes, always solve the problem, or always accept the same role. Mina stopped responding to every request in the same way. Sometimes, she recommended another designer. Sometimes she declined. Sometimes she offered a smaller paid engagement. Occasionally, when a project mattered deeply, she contributed more than the contract required but as a visible gift, not an invisible expectation. Her generosity became meaningful again because it was no longer automatic. Then, Aster Labs returned. Their internal presentation had failed to persuade a group of investors. The founder asked whether Mina could take a quick look before another meeting. The old anger returned immediately. Mina wanted them to admit what they had done. She wanted to prove they had needed her all along. Law 36 offered a different kind of power. Disdain what you cannot have. This does not mean pretending not to care. It means refusing to give more life to something because it denied you recognition. Mina could not force Aster to validate the past. She could decide the terms of the present. She replied with a link to her paid diagnostic and the next available date. No accusation, no discount, no extra attention designed to make them regret losing her. The founder booked it. This time, Aster paid for the thinking before receiving it. The work went well. Mina later accepted the larger design project under a clear agreement. She did not win by making them suffer. She won by no longer needing the past to be rewritten before she could move forward. Scarcity did not create Mina's value. It made the boundary around that value visible. That difference matters. Fake scarcity says, pretend this is rare so people panic. Real scarcity says, this requires finite time, judgment, and care. So access must have a shape. Scarcity without value is inconvenience. Value without boundaries becomes a commodity. This is why scarcity must follow substance, not replace it. A restaurant cannot improve bad food by making reservations impossible. A leader cannot create respect by becoming unreachable. A friend cannot create love by withholding affection until the other person becomes anxious. When scarcity is used to cover emptiness, it eventually becomes theater people resent. But when scarcity protects care, it improves the experience on both sides. A doctor who limits appointments can give each patient proper attention. A craftsperson who accepts fewer commissions can maintain the quality attached to their name. A manager who does not attend every meeting allows the team to decide more without turning their presence into background noise. The deeper principle is allocation. Every yes decides where a portion of your life will go. When you say yes automatically, the loudest request, not the most important value, controls that allocation. Over-availability can also become a way of avoiding your own priorities. Mina told herself she was serving clients, but immediate replies protected her from the harder work of developing a point of view. Free consultations filled the calendar so she did not have to face the uncertainty of building something original. Sometimes we make ourselves endlessly useful because usefulness provides instant proof that we matter. Selection is quieter. You decline one request without knowing whether a better one will arrive. You protect an afternoon for work that may fail. You stop chasing a person and must sit with the possibility that they will not return. That is why real scarcity requires self-trust. It asks you to believe that the value of your time does not disappear merely because someone else is disappointed by its limits. The most important things in your life may need access to you before they can produce evidence that protecting them was worthwhile. If everything receives you immediately, nothing receives the deepest, most deliberate version of your attention. How can you apply this without becoming calculating? Use a 4-part tool called LESS. L. Limit access intentionally. Decide when you are available, what belongs inside an agreement, and which requests require a separate commitment. A boundary announced after resentment builds will sound like punishment. Define it earlier. E. Exchange value clearly. Know what is a gift, what is public education, what is a sample, and what is paid work. State the difference. Do not give something away while secretly expecting the recipient to reward you later. Unspoken invoices create spoken resentment. Stop pursuing indifference. Follow up appropriately. Express interest clearly. Then allow a lack of response to become an answer. Attention spent forcing one closed door to acknowledge you is attention unavailable for the open door you have not yet noticed. S. Surprise through substance. Do not become unpredictable through inconsistency. Become less predictable through growth. Change the format. Improve the standard. Create something people did not know you could create. The strongest surprise is expanded capability. Now ask yourself, which part of your work are you giving away because you are afraid people will not pay for it? Who expects immediate access to you because you have never allowed a delay? Where are you calling something generosity, even though resentment has already begun? And what are you still chasing because you want recognition more than you want freedom? Your absence will not make everyone value you. Some people will simply find someone else to overuse. Let them. The goal is not to become desired by everyone. It is to become available for the people, work, and relationships capable of meeting your value with responsibility. In the next episode, we will confront a different paradox. How do you stand out without becoming a target? How do you follow your own mind while understanding the social codes around you? And why can appearing perfect create more enemies than appearing human? Episode 7 is called Stand Out Without Becoming a Target.